Now, what I was shocked about this motorcycle is how much attention it gets.
Oh, really?
So we have the Nardo gray and red combination. And Honda has a very weird naming scheme for these particular motorcycles. So they all sound roughly the same. And there are, if I remember correctly, they all have one part of the color which is the same. And then when you start looking for that color on the bike, it does not exist. Right? So we have a gray and red bike, and it would say something like pearl, anthracite, black, and red. And you're like, where's the black? It's weird like that. But it, and we'll ignore the headlight for a minute. We'll come to the headlight. The rest of the motorcycle, people like, whoa, what is that? It's been a while since people stopped and looked at the bike and looked it over and had conversations about it, to the point where today somebody tapped me on my shoulder while I was riding. He was on an Activa, saying, "Kitne ka hai? Acha bike hai? Aapne kabhi liya?" And he's trying to have a conversation with me on the move. So I had to obviously accelerate out of that situation. But that did not happen for any of the other 125s. So it's definitely attention grabbing. I think it's part of what the bike is supposed to do as a design, and it does. The colors are bright and the colors look good. I'm not sure about the fluorescent green bike, but this red and grey, I think it looks really good. It looks well finished, it looks well done, and it has some kooky design also. So the side panel, they tried to create a cutout, so make it look lighter. It's actually a cutout. So then you look closely and you can see the battery behind it, and the battery bracket is silver, so then it grabs your attention. Once you've seen it, you cannot unsee it. So it's a well-made motorcycle. The headlight I do not understand. Okay, so it has a nice shape, and the bottom of the headlight is actually a pretty decent shape. It looks like a snake fang, whatever. Okay, great. And then there is the top part of the headlight which has lots of stuff going on, and this is not my fault, but every time I walked into my house and I said, play me my favorite music to my favorite digital assistant, the one SIRI, it played the Sugar Babes song called Hole in the Head, and it got stuck in my head. And then I came down to the Hornet and like, Hole in the Head, and that song is playing in my thing. So it's got a high beam that is mounted there, and it's got two DRLs like this and two low beams like this, and there is a lot going on. And I immediately understood why people kept referring to it as a hero bike also looks like this.
Two things from my side, because when I came into office today, Shumi was just riding in, so I just want to ride up and then passed. So my lasting impression of that, from that interaction, was of the rear, and I didn't place which bike you were riding in that time, but from the rear, for some reason, I thought, is it an RTR? And I'm wondering whether that's a combination of the sound as well, because the RTRs also have that slightly softish but bassy sound. So I thought maybe it's that. Then when it was in the office and I went towards it, the first thought was, is it a hero or? Right?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot going on, right? There's a lot going on. And you can see like those design cues in the sense of adding a lot of volume, like the underseat area, which is so wide. And then I saw some places where these extensions, like little plastic shrouds sticking out, like the belly pan area and all. You can see them trying to add volume.
Yeah, and it feels like that also. So the tank is wider than you expect. So I remember the Shine being a narrowish motorcycle, the SP125 being a reasonably narrow motorcycle. This is a wide motorcycle.
But I completely did not notice the seat, nothing, because once I saw the headlamp, I was like, what? Because he told me, he said, go take a look at the bike. I was just...
The Honda CB125 Hornet now enters the same game as the TVS Raider, the Hero Extreme 125R, and the Bajaj Pulsar N125. How does it do? Find out on MotorInc first. The episode is now playing for free on the app, and the MotorInc app is free to download on iOS and Android.